What's up, friends? I've been using the CMF Watch 3 Pro for over 2 weeks now, and I've put it through the ring in terms of display, battery, performance, connectivity, workouts, and more. This is my review of the CMF Watch 3 Pro. Do you really need an Apple Watch or a Wear OS wearable watch in order to have a good experience with your phone? Or is there something that is around $100 that can do all of that stuff and more? If you did notice, I did say iOS and Android, so if you do have an iPhone, you can utilize this watch. So it does give you an extra option to have. But going into design, 4 different designs with this watch. There is 4 different designs, and each design has a different casing on the watch itself. Different colors, different casings, different styles. So huge props to Nothing/CMF for being able to get that through. That is pretty impressive for the price. It is a 47mm design with a metal body that covers the entire thing. One thing I do appreciate is the fact that the metal does come over the screen. A lot of watches nowadays doesn't have that, and it does leave your screen to be exposed for scratches, etc. However, I do wish that they put a better glass on this, because somehow, I'm not entirely sure, but I do have scratches on the screen already. So it is a little bit more prone to scratching. Even though I have this bezel, I've already got several scratches on it. So I do hope in the next iteration they do put some better glass on it. In terms of the screen itself, it is a AMOLED display that has a peak brightness up to 670 nits. So not the brightest in the world. However, I've had no issues with it ever. So take what you will with that information. It's a small screen and it looks good every time I'm outdoors. I live in Texas, so it's super bright nearly all the time, but it's been great. It's also IP68 water and dust resistant. And kind of bear in mind, there's going to be a pattern at the price of $100 and nowadays even less. The amount of features that you're getting on this watch kind of makes you question why we're spending so much dollars on, you know, Pixel watches, Samsung watches, Apple watches, etc. Performance wise, it's been great. I did notice you can make it stutter, and it seems to be kind of locked into the software. When you do press your home button and start swiping down, you nearly get a stutter every single time as you keep swiping with the crown. But besides that, I've had no other in terms of any like slowness, any lag, any issues at all. Like I said, I've used this watch non-stop for 2 weeks straight, and that's really the only place where I can get it to replicate with like a little bit of like kind of drop in the frames per second, but like it's not a huge deal, and it is a lot of stuff going on the screen at the same time. So maybe it could be fixed in a patch, like a software update. But performance wise, it's been fantastic. Like I said, for $100, fantastic performance. One thing I will mention is it does have haptics on the watch itself, something that's not necessary, but the fact that they went the extra mile to do, I do appreciate. Haptics are always a great thing to have, and it is very nice to have. Going into workouts, it's been fantastic besides one thing. I am a huge walker. I go on walks every single week, and I've noticed a very consistent inconsistency with the step tracking. This watch is terrible with step tracking, and I hope soon there's going to be a software update to patch that. But I can physically just hold my camera to the watch and take steps, and the step tracking is off. On a typical 20,000 step day, it is telling me I got 10,000. Like I'm losing 1 step per each 2 steps that I'm doing. It's not the best. It's so consistent that I immediately caught on to it, because I'm like, am I tripping? Are my old watches lying to me? And I'll sit there and I'll walk, and I'm walking and I take 3 steps and it counts 1 step, and I take 3 more steps and it counts 1 step, and not the best. It does really impact my overall opinion on the watch, but at the end of the day, it's not a big deal. Hopefully that can be patched with a software update, and I pray it does, because this is a great watch, and it's really unfortunate that that's the one thing that's kind of holding me back in general. But everything else has been fantastic. Heart rate's been great. Step tracking needs some work. The workouts themselves, there is quite a few options, and sleep tracking, which was to my surprise available on this watch, is also very fantastic. It does kind of give me some pretty accurate readings in terms of my sleep time, and does kind of give me almost like a readiness score, like, hey, you did really good today. Hopefully you should have a gooder day today, or you should be a little bit more, you know, awake and lively today. So that was kind of, once again, to my surprise, to get a $100 watch. Now, in terms of battery, this is where I have my biggest praise. I wore this watch and consistently used it in all of my tasks, from handling phone calls, which I will bear in mind, it does have a built-in microphone, which also came to my surprise when my watch was working on a phone call. I did not expect that for $100, but it does have it. Doing phone calls, tracking exercises, setting timers, doing, you know, day-to-day things on the watch, sleep tracking, all of that and more, and still managing to get 11 days in a row with battery life is amazing. I'm starting to think that we've been conditioned to think that Wear OS watches are good. I think when you take a step back and you realize, do I really need Google Maps on my watch? Do I really need to be able to view my messages and scroll up? How much do I need these things? Because if you don't need it, these watches back here are performing exceptionally well at such lower price points. And I would give Garmin praise as well, but this thing undercuts Garmin by over $100. Like on Garmin's, like, you know, Vivo Active 6, like this is still hundreds of dollars cheaper. So I really think we've been conditioned to think we need a good watch. This is a all metal design, 47 millimeter OLED watch with call capability. I will mention does have GPS built in as well for step tracking, workouts, etc. Does everything you need it to do at $100 retail. Nowadays it's cheaper. I think we've been conditioned. Now, going into the software, once again, CMF/Nothing, they are a company with attention to detail, and it translates into the watch as well. You're getting an amazing experience on this watch. Compared to Wear OS, where you're getting about 70% of the features. 70% of the features on here for a portion of the price. The big culprits is, you know, you can't view your messages, you can't reply to your messages. You can still see them, but you can't really view the conversation. So if that's a huge deal for you, just go to Wear OS. And then, you know, there's a couple other things like Google Maps, etc. I was going to say Gemini was going to be a big culprit in this as well, but fun fact, you can actually custom key your dial button to do a double tap, and when I press double tap, I've keyed it to be Gemini. So I actually have Gemini on this $100 watch, and it works pretty good. It does use the phone as a substitute, but from what I've tried, it does the job. So you don't even need Gemini on, like it's got Gemini technically. The biggest thing, and this is a very me particular problem, is you gotta make it to where you can put a widget for the timer. That is my only request, software related. Like, give me a widget for the timer. I am a guy who utilizes my timer twice a day, 3 times a day, whatever it may be. I love my timers, and the fact that I gotta do this, swipe all the way down to timer, tap on timer, and then choose my timer. Maybe it's first world problems, but like I'm typically on the go, so I don't really have the time to be like, just put a widget. I would really hope and recommend a widget for a timer. Just for me, put Nathan's timer. I would love you forever. Thank you so much. Software has been fantastic. 80% of Find My Phone, 80% of what Wear OS does. That's fantastic. It's great. It's amazing. The value that you get in this, compared to a Garmin, compared to a Pixel watch, compared to a Samsung watch, compared to an Apple watch, insane. And it comes in 4 different designs, man. Wrap it up. Now, lastly, I have 3 cons. My only 3 cons. I take it back. I got 4. No, obviously we know about the timer, Nathan's timer, but this is actually a girlfriend complaint. My lady told me on these edges right here, very, very sharp, and physically it is, like I can rub my finger right here and it is very sharp. That's on all four corners. So when, you know, hugging and yada 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 with my lady, I've kind of scratched her several times with these corners. She does not like this watch because of how sharp these corners are, and I completely understand. I've never had a watch that's been sharp before. So if you could, you know, round these off, you know, smoothing these corners a little bit on the next iteration, that would be fantastic. Adaptive brightness would be very, very well appreciated. And then lastly, the screen, if you could put a better glass on it, because it does scratch easily. Like I said, it has a raised bezel, and I don't know how, but I've accumulated about 3 or 4 scratches already, even with the bezel. Not sure how. I don't rub my hand against stuff like that, so the fact that the screen's scratching that easily is concerning for me in the long run. But to say the least, at $100, final verdict, everything that you get for this is what 80% of what iOS and Wear OS offers. Cheaper than a Garmin, but does more than a Garmin and has better quality than a Garmin, as well as Fitbit. This is a steal. 4 different designs, mix match, do what you gotta do. I highly recommend you guys to check out this watch. I highly recommend you guys to check out this watch. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Did you find the video entertaining? Did you have any questions? If so, drop them in the comment section down below. It would mean so much to me if you drop a like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. But until then, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay blessed. Have a good one. Peace.